is to introduce that person to that person. If that person can't accept that person, you've done your part.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well,
a lot of times people cannot accept people because they feel they have this certain level terminology, which is screwed up.
No, they can't. They can't accept other people because they don't accept who they are. True. It's as simple as that.
The other part I'd like to touch base with is this.
Well, we really have to go to the next call. We're down on time, and I do appreciate your comment, but we've got to go to the next person. Thanks so much for calling, and we'll take the next caller. Welcome to the Audrey Chapman Show. You're on the air.
Hi, Audrey. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. I want to go back to something that I heard earlier in the morning. This notion of younger women versus the older, more professional women, and how their wants and needs differ. I think the younger women, of course, are naturally attracted to the thugs, as the gentleman said earlier, and I no one seems to know why that is. That they're excited by the danger.
Well, you know, every generation had their group that they were into and going after. You know, I mean, if you go back to the 70s, there was, I don't know what they were called then. What were they? The
hippies?
No, they were radicals, militants, whatever. Right. I mean, each generation had their group that somebody was not supposed to relate to. So we have the so-called thugs, and the next generation will have something too. But go ahead.
That's true. But when you look at the desires of these older so-called professional women, I'm sure you've had these conversations with the women. You look at their plethora of requirements. I mean, they want you to be a certain height, a certain weight, a certain complexion, a certain profession, age. They want a sensitive man, strong man, intelligent, spiritual, passionate, a good lover.
Right.
They want you to have a certain amount of money, be humorous. And all of those things put together, Audrey, that's unrealistic.
Sounds like a textbook, doesn't it?
No, they want Tupac Shakur and Denzel Washington in the same body. It's impossible.
And Bill Gates.
Well, definitely Bill Gates. In fact, that one is first, Bill Gates.
Right. That's the first one.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think we're getting away from reality when you say you want a man with all of those qualities. And so you're falling short right off the bat.
Well, I get a lot of complaints from guys these days who tell me that what they don't like about the professional women is that none of them cook or clean anymore. And that's the other complaint that I've heard a whole lot of. You can't get a woman that's willing to even stand in a kitchen, let alone...
I think any of us would be willing to give up the cooking and cleaning for a little bit of respect and appreciation.
I might differ with that. On this point, I'm going to say this very honestly. One of the things I liked about Latin women is they love cooking and doing things for men. Part of what I hear this man saying is what we feel we have to give up to be in a relationship with a black American woman. Whereas women in other cultures, it's not like you chain them to a stove. If they fix something for you, they're happy to do it. When they're happy to do something for me, I feel obligated to do something for them, and you get a nice little, yin-yang going there.
Yeah. The giving up part, I'm glad you said, because I think what happens is it's not even that the other person requests that you give up, it's that somehow to be a professional woman, you must give up that other part. And I what's wrong with being able to do all of it? I mean, what's wrong with being able to throw down in the office and throw down in the kitchen?
That's right.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Women don't want to be like their mothers. My mother was like that. She worked.
Right.
She worked and cooked and cleaned.
Right.
She left work and came home.
Did the whole business.
Right. So,
absolutely.
But they don't want to be like their mothers.
And if you're a man and you like cleaning, I don't like cleaning, but I like cooking. Then they're looking at your wrist. So, I mean, there's
Welcome to the Audrey Chapman Show. You're on the air.
Hi, this is Stanley. I'm out of Baltimore City. I'm going to try to make this comment quick.
We appreciate that.
It doesn't really sound good to me how these two guys on the panel are talking about the black women, because, first of all, it's a lot of different women out there with different characters in different environments, and the same goes for men. It's all about what you want to get yourself involved in, what type of intimacy you want to get involved in. It's kind of elementary to talk about it's a competition. The black woman don't do this for the black man or what have you. But these two guys, to me, sound like they like control, because one thing I've noticed, and I live in the midst of Morgan State University, and I'm not too far from South Point where the Latin Palace is. And when I go up here to some of the affairs at Morgan State, these college guys act like, they just right out of the ghetto. You know, they're not there to get any education. It's just all about what they can get out of these girls. And when you go down to the Latin Palace down in South Point, those Latino girls down there, they don't mind being controlled. That's one thing the black woman is not going to have.
It depends on how you define control.
Excuse me, especially an intelligent black woman. So again, it's all about what you're seeking for.
For personally.
You guys are out to get control out of the black woman. You talk about how you want them, you know, to offer you more, to buy dinner and what have you. How are you approaching the intelligent black woman, not the black woman that's out here just out to get money? And of course, there's going to be a competition with them because the thugs are out there, the money, the jewelry, and what have you. And
there's
that's
no
what that
period
type
in this
of woman
sentence.
is looking for.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. His point is that it is how you approach, who you approach, when and where you approach that makes all the difference. I'm still going to continue to say, but you got to bring something to the table, and you got to have something going on yourself. And if you don't, then I think we always attract who we are and where we are, and it's as simple as that. We'll go back to the phone lines now. Welcome to the Audrey Chapman Show. You're on the air. You're on the air.
Yes, I'd like to make a love call to J.J. Jackson in Fort Belvoir.
Okay, I hope J.J. hears this. Thanks.
Hi, love you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we have to stop. Believe it or not, we've run out of time. I know that you would like to get in on this conversation. We'll have to do it again. It always goes by fast. I want to say goodbye to my guest, Anthony and Vandy. Thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
And to Jerome, who called in. And I'll be back in a moment with a final thought for you. Stay tuned to the Audrey Chapman Show right here on the Adult Mix, 96.3 WHUR. I'll be right back.
The least popular days to watch television.
Welcome back. This is Audrey Chapman. And again, I want to thank my guests who have been here. They have certainly stirred up the Washington metropolitan area. And we were taking a look at the whole issue of whether the men are kind of tired of the way they're being treated. And again, I want to thank you all for calling and tuning in. And I think it's important to try to make a major effort of basing your relationship with yourself on honesty and courtesy and openness. To at least have that as an initial platform. You can certainly build onto that. And then I think if you present it that way and you go out there that way, you will attract people who are willing to meet you part of the way with that, with those traits. I want to remind you that I'm